people? I'm Lindsay Geektron, and this is LolKing's League Trends for the week of March 25th, 2015. And before we get going with our show this week, I want to tell you guys more about LolWiz. LolWiz is an app optimized for Overwolf that provides in-game rank stats showing rank, KDA, masteries, and win-losses for all of the players in your game. LolWiz also offers pre-configured bookmarks with in-game web browsing capabilities, so you can save your favorite builds without having to alt-tab out of the game. And best of all, LolWiz complies with Riot's TOS, so not only is it worry-free and easy to download, it's also free. Check out overwolf.com to learn more. This week, our featured champions are Volibear, Leeson, Trundle, Swain, LeBlanc, and, making his very first appearance on our show, Bard. Let's dive into Summoner's Rift. 3 junglers adorn our increased pick rates this week. Sejuani, Lucian, Sion, Amumu, and Volibear are on the list. League's very own Armored Bear received a buff in 5.5 to his Frenzy ability. It now refunds half the cooldown when used on jungle monsters. Between that and the new Cinderhulk item, players are thinking it's a good time to try out this transplant from the Golden Compass. So does Volibear fit in today's meta? Yes and no. Itemization has never been better for the bear, and he becomes quite tanky in the late game. However, he doesn't bring much crowd control or initiation. This limits his ability to make teamfights or ganks happen, and there are always annoying champions that can kite or outplay Volibear with their mobility. The buffed Righteous Glory is a strong movement speed buff though, and perhaps that will be enough to bring this bear back into your games. I'm a bear! The decreased pick rates list this week is also home to a few junglers. Leeson, Graves, Pantheon, Vi, and Jarvan 4 are on the way down, but probably not on the way out. Since Leeson isn't the only jungler here, we can conclude that he's probably not any weaker. It's just that players are putting the tank junglers through their paces like brand new toys. They'll come back for the Blind Monk one day. So is Leeson the same as he always is? Yep. The scaling of some tank junglers makes him a little riskier play these days, but a good Leeson can still dominate the early game and make flashy kicks later. Roadhouse. Consider invading and killing the enemy jungler since many of the current ones are not strong duelists. Minor nerfs to some jungle monsters have helped all junglers, but especially ones with strong early games like Leeson, since being healthy gives them a lot of gank options after their first clear. He won't see you, but expect to keep seeing him on the Rift. League's newest champion, Bard, tops increased win rates for the week. Azir, Zac, Nunu, and Trundle also make appearances. We'll talk about Bard later. For now, let's focus on perhaps the biggest indirect beneficiary of the new tank meta. Enter Trundle. For those unfamiliar, Trundle is a tank and duelist, but also specifically an anti-tank thanks to his Subjugate ultimate. It steals a percentage of the target's health, armor, and magic resistance, so it's strong against any kind of tank build. The Troll King makes a late game miserable for the enemy's frontline, but how about the early game? Well, that depends on the matchup. Trundle can also jungle, but his ganks aren't the greatest, so he's usually played in the top lane. He has a fairly good time in most melee matchups, but does very little in ranged ones. This isn't just because he's melee himself. Trundle has no wave clear, so ranged champions will always outshove him and prevent retaliation. Nevertheless, you can probably expect to see a few Trundles, in the weeks to come. For our decreased win rates this week, we see Vi, Kha'Zix below 45%, Swain, Fiora, and Singed. Swain has experienced a small dip lately, but it's nonetheless still well above 50%, so he's probably in fine shape. So why does he have good win rates in the first place? Probably because of his reliability. Swain has 2 targeted damage spells that can't be missed, and one of them slows targets to make his Nevermore snare easy to land. Swain himself may be a simple champion with good numbers, but make sure you know his weaknesses before you lock in. Swain doesn't have the reliable wave clear of other mage champions, so players can't be lazy if they want to farm well. Expect to spend a lot of time if you want to get every minion in a wave. This means that Swain can sometimes get outroamed by other champions in the mid or top lanes that clear the wave quickly. So do your best to keep them in lane with you, or ward and communicate with your team. Increased ban rates for this week are topped by a titanic 40% increase for Sejuani. Totally didn't call that one last week. The other champions on the list are Hecarim, Katarina, LeBlanc, and Sion. Whatever your pronunciation of the French words for the white may be, she's definitely annoying people lately. Oh, and she also belongs to an organization called the Black Rose, so she's the Black Rose's the white? Rito, please. Wordplay aside, LeBlanc is in a pretty good spot right now. With her mobility, she can play as she pleases against today's tank junglers and try and win lane. Kassadin and Lysandra also ate some recent nerfs, and both of these champions were and are considered counters to LeBlanc. Kassadin outtrades her in lane, while Lysandra can lock down a LeBlanc even through the invisibility from the mirror image passive. Now that these champions are weaker and not being banned themselves, it seems like a good time to ban LeBlanc out of your game. Finally, our decreased ban rates for the week bring out Callista, Vi, Jarvan 4, Bard, and Nidalee. Enter Bard. If you have seen League's newest champion in action, you'll know that he's got a very interesting and unique set of abilities. Bard can send his team on a magical journey through walls without the use of any illicit drugs. And he can also freeze all units and champions in an area in a stasis with his Tempered Fate ultimate. That's cool. However, Bard pays a price for these wacky abilities. He doesn't do any damage. Okay, he does a little as the game progresses with the passive meeps that empower his auto attacks, but early? His laning phase is almost non-existent. You may as well have an Evelynn support, invisibility jokes and all. Riot is looking to increase his damage in future patches, but for now, don't be looking to win lane with Bard. The other problem he has is that his unique and powerful abilities are double-edged. Magical Journey and Tempered Fate affect players on both teams. Misusing them can backfire, so Bard players need lots of experience to consistently make good plays for the team. And that does it for this week's episode. Make sure you check back every Tuesday for the latest show. Like, comment, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and make sure you share this video around to all of your friends. And also, check out LolWiz in the Overwolf App Store. I'm Lindsay Geektron. You can find me on Twitch TV at Lindsay Geektron. Thanks everyone so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next week.